A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Night I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... He landed in the Divine Dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation.
Welcome to Kansas. No, not the Oval. We're going from 4 turns to 8 here tonight. It is time for the KROVAL. Nobody's ever called it that before, I don't think. But we're doing it here tonight because we're innovators here at Truck 200. It is time for the KROVAL 200K presented by Kroger at Kansas Road Course. Oh boy. I know one person who's had this date circled all season long, And it is my partner, Mr. Matt Williamson. I'm Tommy Cook. Matt, it's finally upon us. We're racing at Kansas Road Course.
That's right, baby. One of the two of us put it on the schedule, and it wasn't you. So that only leaves one person. And I'll tell you what, I got out and ran some practice laps, and this is going to be a darn fun race. This is such a fun little track, and the setup is primo right now. You did a great job with the setup, so this is going to be a fun one. The few drivers that we have here tonight are really going to enjoy it, and those that are not here are certainly missing out.
They certainly are, and there are some notable names that are missing indeed. Let's take a look at the point standings while we've got a minute before the starting grid. And two of our chasers not here tonight, and some championship implications for sure.
Yeah, most certainly. One of your championship contenders that is out tonight is Hunter Engrav. So the man that sits in fourth is not here tonight, so he will surely drop far in the standings. Our other driver that's not here is the person that is currently in 8th place in the points. That's Brandon Groover. Of course, he missed the first race of the chase as well, so he is basically out of it at this point. But Justin Michael still sits atop the point standings after besting Gavin Sanders last week. But Gavin Sanders still holding on strong there, only 16 points behind your leader. Matt Schlosser currently 92 points behind your leader, but this could be a good night for Schlosser. He's shown a lot of speed here. He's looking for another one here tonight. So some points to make up for Matt, but it's certainly capable. Another driver that's been very fast in practice and qualifying is Scott Patton, who sits there in 5th. So Scott's going to jump up to at least 4th, but he's going to have an opportunity to make some points up on those ahead of him. Charlie Widener and Heath Smith round out 6th and 7th here.
The magic number tonight to stay eligible for the title with 2 races to go after the checkers drop tonight is 445. If you're 446 or below, you are going to be out, and it looks like that will be Brandon Groover for sure. As we've got 16 on the starting grid this evening, I don't think Mason Flager will be making his debut tonight, so we'll roll off with 8 rows from the Kansas Road Course, and not a surprise, Gavin Sanders, a multi-time Truck Series Road Course winner here with Truck 200, will lead the field to the green with a new track record, 1 minute 15.235. Justin Michael was fastest in practice, faster than Gavin Sanders. Your 2 championship contenders will roll off from the front row. Matt Schlosser, last week's winner from Iowa, will start in 3rd. He is another road course ace. Joshua Heggie, also very fast in practice, and he has been racking up top 10s left and right in the last few weeks. He will start from 4th. Scott Patton will roll off from the top 5 here tonight on the inside of row number 3, and it is the Truck 200 debut of the 2-time Daredevil Series champion, James Watson, from 6th. Dakota Domain is on a top 10 streak. He starts in 7th, next to Corey Rutherford in 8th. It is Charlie Widener and Steve Vroman rounding out your top 10 starters. Ben Carswell, Joshua Rutherford on row number 6. Travis Fleming, Heath Smith back there in 14th, first driver not to set a time. Then the back row will be Rob Haynes on the inside and Hunter Leach on the outside. What are the track conditions? What are these drivers facing here today?
Yeah, we'll get the track temperature here in the moment. 80 degrees is the track temperature right now. It's going to probably continue to fall. It's the sun is going down, but it won't be completely dark by the time this one is over. So the track will stay probably roughly that same temperature for quite a while here. We have 52 laps around the Kansas Roval here tonight. That means that the stage will be at the completion of lap number 26. And the field number is right around lap 28, so the drivers will be able to make it to the stage without needing to come down pit road, but will have to come down shortly after, and it should just be a one-stop race as well. So the drivers will be happy about that. We have incident limits here. I don't think they're going to be hit. If something goes awry, you may just have your night ended. Although, there is quite a bit of runoff around most of these turns. So even if you do bin it into a corner, you should have an opportunity to keep rolling here tonight.
I will say, it is not on for the road courses because we don't believe in track limits.
Oh, beautiful.
If you can keep it going, you are good to go. So don't have to worry about that. You do have 6 turns here, or rather you have 8 turns. 2.37 miles is the official tally. Yeah, that's just the way it is tonight. This truck is going to be quite loose for the first couple laps, especially on the oval parts of this track. So these drivers are going to have their hands full.
It's loose on the oval just by yourself for the first couple of laps. I mean, when you start talking about putting yourself in dirty air in the middle of the pack behind some trucks, it's going to be very treacherous. You're going to want to be very, very careful on the oval section here the first couple of laps. I mean, really, you're going to want to be very careful all over this racetrack, especially the first couple of laps.
Automatic full course cautions are turned on. No manual cautions will be thrown. They have proven to be not very sensitive in the past, but we'll see if that changes with maybe a big pile up here headed into turn number 1 at the Kansas Road Course. The KROVAL 200K presented by Kroger. Round number 3 of the chase for Truck 200 is underway. Your 2 title contenders, Sanders and Michael, lead the charge to the transition from the banking down into the infield. Michael wanted to turn in. Sanders placing the truck beautifully there, and he will have the advantage. Pretty clean entry into turn number 1, 2, and now turn number 3. Little contact between Charlie Widener and Corey Rutherford. They get it sorted out, and Widener will take that position as we now head into the big horseshoe, the right-hander. DeMade and Watson side by side in a stock truck.
Rutherford locks it up a little bit, trying to get past Charlie Widener. He's got a good drive off here.
He'll take it back. Nicely done. Sanders going to lead him back onto the oval. The transition onto the banking is tough here for the first couple laps and for the last couple laps as well, but everybody does a pretty good job. Schlosser out to third. Pretty big gap over Scott Patton there in fourth as Michael and Sanders trying to break away. Going to get very loose here the first time through the oval.
Front runners navigate it beautifully here.
Oh, Travis Fleming spins and saves, but he's the only one.
Now the big slowdown down into turn number 1.
Man, jarring.
Yeah,
Up front, Michael loses it. Back on the track, but he will lose the second position now. Schlosser moves ahead. Patton under pressure from Heggie right behind. James Watson going to send it in on Dakota DeMade, and they nearly make a little bit of contact there on the right-hander.
Yeah, and James is going to be able to get that position. DeMade a little bit wide through the corner, knowing that James is coming up the inside. Oh, Michael
Missed
a little bit too much speed into that corner as well. He, like you said, he missed it. Patton able to come a little bit closer here.
The rear tire is very temperature sensitive. You have to be really mindful of that, even as these temperatures on the track continue to come down.
That's a really tough corner as well. We'll get an onboard with one of the drivers here before too long for a full lap, but you're going around a curve and then immediately trying to hit the brakes, almost braking while you're going around the corner still. That is a tough braking zone.
1:15.29, nearly the qualifying lap for Gavin Sanders.
Whoa!
Up at the front of the field.
Ben Carswell just about ran into the back of Steve Roman. Roman's all over the back of Charlie Widener here.
Yeah, Rutherford. Oh, there goes Widener around. Will get it back. It didn't do a full 360 there, but locks it down, and he will drop from 9th down to 13th, maybe 14th.
Yeah, that is very easy to do out of that corner.
Yes, it is.
Oh, and you see Patton go wide here. And he jumps right up on the oval immediately.
Heggie trying to take advantage, delay the transition up onto the banking. Heggie, I believe the winner last night in the ASRL Xfinity Series at the Daytona road course with the stupid chicane. This is a very fun, kind of simple infield road course, or just a road course in general. Very demanding, especially on the rear tires.
Yeah, it's one that it's quick. It's a quick, shorter course, and it kind of lulls you into thinking that you can just push the entire time, when that is certainly not the case.
Steve Roman making a move on Corey Rutherford, gets to the outside of him into turn number 1, and they nearly come together there in turn 3, and that'll open the door for Ben Carswell to get through now. But Roman still has the positioning here in the inside, headed for the right-hander, turn 4.
Oh, wow, he really sends it in there.
And good awareness by Carswell there not to turn in and to let Vroman go through, and now he will have that position outright.
Yeah, and you saw Vroman really lighting the tires up, trying to get back into the gas.
So now Carswell will try and reel in Corey Rutherford for 8th. Shout out to everybody hanging out in the chat with us. Shout out to Don Golden, of course, to Joshua Rutherford as well, Joshua Matichek, Zach Lockett. Go check out the Venomcast this week. That was a great listen. And that's everybody that's hanging out with us for now, as Carswell is through on Corey Rutherford there. Rutherford had some problems on the transition up into turn number 2 on the oval. Justin Michael, meanwhile, creeping back into the picture here for second. He's caught Matt Schlosser to about a truck length as they head back into the infield here in lap number 5.
Next time around, we'll do a full lap with one of these drivers. If Justin Michael's still right behind Schlosser, we'll go ahead and watch that battle from the view of the 87. Right behind them, Josh Heggie showing a lot of speed. Has been very quick in stock cars on road courses as of late, as you mentioned.
And Heggie and a few others have the leg up on some of these drivers tonight because the ASRL Sports Car Championship a couple of seasons ago ran here. Heggie was one of a few drivers in that field, including Matt Schlosser and Gavin Sanders. Sanders, not too sure he didn't win one of those races. Actually, no, he was taken out from the lead in one of those races, but he did get a lot of time up front.
Alrighty, let's take a lap around the Kansas Roval with Justin Michael.
Michael going to be a heat-seeking missile here into turn number 1. Look at how violent this transition is, and that was at 50 miles an hour. Very slow. Up into the mid-80s here as Michael gives chase. Looking for a breaking point at that access road right there. Down to 35 miles an hour, a lot like the final turn at Sonoma. In fact, nearly identical.
Tough braking zone coming up. Taking the right-hand curve. You hear Michael kind of get out of the throttle a little bit early there, right in the middle of the corner.
Down to 40 miles an hour, and now you let the big dog eat. Smoke him if you got him.
Oh, and somebody spun it. That is Gavin Sanders.
Sanders from the lead. The race leader is parked. He is not moving. What happened? Oh my goodness.
That completes a lap here.
Schlosser now the new leader. Sanders is towed back to the pits. What happened to the 99? Your championship points leader as they were running. They're on lap number 6 and lap 7. It's over.
Yeah, let's take a look. We'll go full speed here. Lean through the left-hand hairpin. Oh, and it's like he tried to use the banking to then get back down on the apron and just spins it. He doesn't hit the wall. I'm not sure. Maybe he had something happen where he had to jump out of the race because that I Can't imagine that you would get up on the banking and then come back down to the apron there. Well, not sure. We'll try and get some confirmation or some information at some point for you, but it's a battle for the lead now between Matt Schlosser and Justin Michael, and Michael is on the inside of the 400 going through the oval, turns 3 and 4.
Michael had it out of the infield. Now he's going to try and clear up on Schlosser, headed back in.
Whoa. Scott Patton is not that far between these two either.
Now showing upload packet loss for Gavin Sanders, but he may have just alt F4'd from the pits. That is just shocking.
Wow, that certainly changes things.
Well, Justin Michael's first race in Truck 200 was at Watkins Glen, and it was a win, so it's not like he can't pull it off. That was, I believe, also off the back of a Gavin Sanders internet disconnect. Sanders reconnecting to the session.
Left, though.
Yes, certainly.
And maybe had a monitor go out or something, just trying to get to a safe spot where he wouldn't kill the truck. Really hard to say at this point.
Heath Smith has been on pit road for the last 5 laps, so that's another chaser with problems and another one that needs a good night to stay eligible. Oh, problems for Travis Fleming on the transition back onto the oval. He's around. Doesn't look like he's made much contact with anything, though, so we'll stay in motion here. But Michael leading now, Schlosser and Patton and Heggie all pretty close together. Sanders back out on track.
And Fleming just way too fast into that corner, and he actually, I think, intentionally kept it to the right to not run into Joshua Rutherford. He was headed right for Rutherford, who was turning left at the time Fleming was coming through. Speaking of the Rutherfords, both of them are running cameras for us here tonight. Here's a look at Corey getting through on Rob Haynes. Oh, lighten up those tires, trying to get back into it. And brother Joshua Rutherford is just behind the 33 as well. Couple of differing strategies here. Corey and Rob up on the banking. And Joshua's going to stay on the apron. You cut off a little bit if you stay on the apron, but it's harder to get back into the throttle if you stay down there. So you just have to be mindful of that. If you can do it perfectly every lap, it may be a little bit quicker, but it is very, very tough to do.
Just as quickly as those top 4 were all together, they all now have 1 second between each other. I know I said Gavin Sanders is back out on track. He's right behind Dakota DeMade right now, who's running in 6th, trying to challenge for 5th behind James Watson. But Gavin Sanders is 2 laps down, so he's just hoping for as many people to drop out of this race as humanly possible.
And this is just one. I don't think you're going to have that many people fall out of it. It's not going to be a very long race. There's quite a bit of runoff in most areas of the racetrack as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of space to the static barriers for the most part around here. So, Sanders going to have to kick it into overdrive the next 2 weeks. Final 2 races of the season at Talladega and at Chicagoland, where we will crown a champion. And now, all of a sudden, Matt Schlosser giving Justin Michael the business once again. And Schlosser made a great play last week at Iowa to get himself back into the championship hunt inside of 100 points. And now looking to make some more if he can make a pass for Justin Michael to reclaim the top spot.
I mean, that's a way to peak at the right time, get your first win, and then back it up with a second.
Michael coming off a win on Thursday night in the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series at Las Vegas, a race he absolutely dominated and nearly got taken away from him there at the very end. Incredibly close. Oh, Michael locks it up. Schlosser, nice and tidy, right around the rumble strips. He's got 3/4 of a truck length ahead, but Michael, great drive off. And he might stay in the preferred area here on the inside. Headed to the left-hander. Schlosser keeping him pinned down.
Schlosser going to get to the oval first.
And Michael gets up on the banking, too. I'm not sure if Schlosser was trying to leave that room, but it happened anyway. Side by side for the lead. Patton, 1 second behind.
Yeah, with these two battling, Patton's been able to close in a bit here. Michael going to go high, trying to use the momentum off the corner. Schlosser going to run the bottom.
Schlosser didn't get enough crossover action last week at Iowa, apparently. How about one more?
Michael going to be first to the braking zone. He will take it into turn number 1.
Michael's got it much nicer entry there, but Schlosser able to accelerate much better through turns 2 and 3. Some more problems for Travis Fleming. Looks like he's back in motion.
Wow, look at this. All of a sudden, you just mentioned how they were all spread out, and in the matter of 3 or 4 laps, they are all right back here together.
2.6 seconds of fall off from their fastest laps to the laps they're running now. I mean, these drivers are battling, but they're also hurting. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, this isn't a very long racetrack. That is a lot of fall off.
Of course, Gavin Sanders, who has fresher tires after his disconnect, is running laps in the 115s. But everybody else into the high 117s. Patton was the fastest driver on track other than Sanders last time by. That remains true for this lap as well as Patton closed it in on Schlosser.
Take your eyes up at Josh Heggie back there as well.
I could see Heggie sneaking in a win here today. He's also got on the super speedways if he comes back next week as well. And he's got a shot to pull off a late Truck 200 victory just 2 to 3 races before it ceases to exist.
I mean, he's been doing really well in the Xfinity Sunday ASRL Sunday night series. So, Patton really had that thing way out there wide. Rear tires are not going to like that.
No, definitely not.
So, yeah, for Heggie, wouldn't surprise me if he shows up and gets a podium here tonight. Has been good on all racetracks, but especially the road courses and the stock cars.
Rob Haynes just went around. Now he'll drop right in the lap of the battle between Joshua Rutherford and Charlie Widener for 12th, or rather for 11th.
Dakota DeMade and James Watson going to start to do battle again here. DeMade nearly got into the wall off of oval turn 4.
Yeah, these two have not really spent much time apart here this evening.
DeMade locks it up just a little bit there on the inside. Go back to Charlie Widener and Joshua Rutherford now battling for 11th. Oh, and I think Rutherford may have hit the wall. Starting to get tight on the oval here for these drivers. And you see the 199 of Hunter Leach slow down there in the racetrack. Not much road racing experience for the 199. He is getting his feet wet here tonight.
Certainly. This is a way to do it. But this is also a good time to do it with a limited amount of drivers out on track. 15 of our 16 starters still motoring around. You got enough space to operate.
You know, there's not a lot of places where you don't have an opportunity to let somebody by. You know, there's some racetracks that if you're in the racing line, there's really nowhere else to go, and there's really nowhere else for you to get through either, but there's plenty of space to operate here.
Schlosser gaining once again. He's so strong through turns 2 and 3. Always dropping the right side tires in the grass there. He's got 5 off tracks in that exact same spot. But it translates to a lot of speed, and he's still very good here in this right-hander.
Yeah, he's just
But
really
Michael,
good at rolling that corner and not overstepping his bounds.
This is where Michael kicks it into gear here. On the transition back to the oval. He's been so strong. Though missed it a little bit that time. But still, no muss, no fuss. He's right there, right to that white line. A little bobble from Schlosser, and that's going to cost him a truck length, maybe 2. Ooh, Dakota DeMay nearly went around there on the transition back to the banking. James Watson will pull away and hang on to 5th for the time being. So Michael continuing to lead up front. Now, if Gavin Sanders catches Hunter Leach, that will be a pass for position. And every point is going to count. Ideally, Sanders would love to get into the top 10 by the end of this race. That is going to be incredibly tough. But that is really where the points start to get paid out. Yeah, with this exaggerated points rubric.
Ben Carswell has caught Steve Roman here for 7th. But we have seen that drivers get these big runs. They have a lot of speed, and then as soon as they catch somebody, they have a tough time getting around them. But Carswell going to pull it up the inside here in the horseshoe. Ooh.
That was tight.
Definitely. And Carswell slipping the tires a little bit, trying to get back into it. He's going to get out in front of the 00.
First time we've seen Ben Carswell in quite a few weeks since really early in the season. Great to see him back out on track. And getting his elbows out here for a P7.
To see who comes out on top here as Carswell goes around the apron. Vroman on the oval. Just about even.
Justin Michael had a big lock up into turn number 1, and that has allowed Schlosser to close a 0.6 of a second gap to inside of a truck length. That is certainly not what you want, to lock up these front tires and square them off as Schlosser sends it, and he sends it right into Justin Michael.
Speaking of lockups, the inside. Oh, maybe not.
Michael, right back through. I think Schlosser gave him that. Because that's not Matt Schlosser's MO. And Michael locks it up. Back onto the banking, though. Schlosser going to keep it down low. And this may cost him 2nd. Patton is coming with a head of steam.
Yeah, just could not get the power down there on the apron.
And look who's creeping up in the picture. Gavin Sanders looking to get a lap back. He is running much faster lap times than the leaders. I will say, we talked about the 2 seconds of fall off. It's stabilized. It's still right in that window.
Sanders looking for a way around the 7. And he's going to take it up the inside here. And that move by Schlosser, whoa, stack up there.
Big lockup. Yeah, Michael locked him up hard. I mean, once you do it a couple times, it's easy to keep doing it. And at least he's still maintaining the track position.
That move by Schlosser in that same corner was tough because I feel like he got into the grass with the right side tires just for a touch there. I feel like if he hadn't gotten the tires in the grass, he may have been able to slow that up in time, but he went way to the inside and I think lost a little bit of braking grip there.
Schlosser and Patton, this is what Justin Michael wants to see. They are side by side for second with a lap car in the mix and the lap.
Patton in the wall.
Patton will hit the wall and open up the top side here for Sanders.
Man, we've seen that from a few people now. Whoa! Sanders nearly got a bumper from the 400 there.
And if you're wondering why a lap car is racing the leaders so hard, this is Gavin Sanders' season right here. Every second, every inch is going to matter in this race. Having to claw his way up through this field.
Yeah, I mean, Sanders is going to get by Hunter Leach, but, I mean, that's... Unless somebody else crashes out, that's pretty much the only position he has to make up here. Not too far from bonus points either, which is not going to help the case of the 99.
No, it certainly won't.
Steve Rome and Ben Carswell still close together for 7th. Sanders really wanted that way around Scott Patton. Gonna take another look to the inside.
Michaels again smoking those front tires. Still has a 1.3 second lead.
Luckily for these drivers, we are not far from pit stops. Gotta make it 5 more laps.
You know, Josh Hagee isn't racing for points. If he wants to win this race, he may trigger the undercut right at the window. When is that window?
Yeah, well, the stage completes at lap 26. The window goes to about lap 28. So, I mean, Josh Hagee is not stage points racing. So, I mean, he could come in on lap 25 or 26. These drivers in front of him are going to stay out, take lap 27, excuse me. So Hagee might decide to come in on lap 25 or 26 and trigger that undercut like you said.
Oh, Patton pushed wide. Here's Schlosser trying to regain second.
And Schlosser's able to get underneath, but he's not able to clear. He's side by side with Patton here now. He's done the same thing with Justin Michael, who smokes him through the left-hander.
And he's really squaring those front tires off. Schlosser taking Patton's preferred line. But Patton's still, even here on the bottom, able to squeeze up in front of the 400 of Schlosser.
Yeah, Schlosser hasn't quite figured out that transition onto the oval. Both Michael and Patton have beaten him there multiple times.
It is not easy. So we're about to be at an interesting spot here. Just a little bit up the road from Justin Michael is the driver that Gavin Sanders is racing for position. That will be Hunter Leach. you're going to hope, if you're Justin Michael and Gavin Sanders, that you catch him at a good time. There are plenty of bad spots to catch him here as Schlosser and Patton still going at it.
Yeah, they swapped positions a couple times there.
Eggy just lying in wait.
Oh, Schlosser and Patton side by side again. They were nearly door to door there.
Ooh, Patton swings the rear end of the truck out. Hunter Leach going to let traffic go by on the banking. There's another truck ahead of them. I believe that's Travis Fleming, if I'm not mistaken. Which would not be for position.
So Sanders will unlap himself here. Or at least get one back, I should say.
Yeah, he'll still be one down. Note the gap up to Travis Fleming right now is 82 seconds. We'll see how close he can make that by the end of the race. With another pit stop for both still to go. Sanders did get fresher tires, not by choice, but he will still have to come in for fuel once again. Patton, Schlosser, and Eggy, 3/10 separating second, third, and fourth. They've got 2 seconds now up to Justin Michael. Big slip up for Steve Roman, and his gap up to Ben Carswell has doubled. So Carswell firmly in 7th for now. DeMade has lost 2 seconds on James Watson. Rob Haynes catching Charlie Widener for 10th. But outside of that, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are our best battles on the track.
Peter's working through traffic. That is Fleming.
Oh, Fleming nearly bailed it off into the 87. That was close. The bonus point pay window is open, and looks like Hagee is not going to flip the stage here. So he will stay in 4th, although Patton and Schlosser and also Hagee are closing back in on Justin Michael. They were 0.6 of a second faster last time around. Oh, Schlosser locks up the rears, trying not to tag the tailgate of Scott Patton. Big gap now. And you do not want hot tires headed into the transition back onto the banking. You will not be able to get the power down efficiently.
Schlosser's having to protect a little bit from Hagee now as well.
Justin Michael, it could be a big, big night for him. He will take the stage win Patton, Schlosser, Hagee, the top 4. James Watson on a one-off here tonight. He won't mind 5th place points, though, I guess. And he won't get them because he will come down pit road and try and flip this race himself. So DeMade will take P5 in the stage. And it'll be Carswell Vroman, Corey Rutherford, and Charlie Widener tentatively, as they still have a ways to get across the start-finish line.
Pretty surprised that Hague didn't take that opportunity either.
We'll see how much longer these guys wait now.
I mean, they can only go another lap is what our thinking is on fuel. Maybe one more after that, but I think it's 2 at the max.
Should say as well, Heggie is not in the chase. He's run the majority of the races this season, missed a few to start the season. And he's been really strong of late. So he's racing for P9 in the points, which doesn't pay anything. And Michael's slowing down, Patton's slowing down. Here goes Schlosser. Hagee going to take him long. Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Got to make sure these are clean here. You notice Patton made up quite a bit of time on entry there over Michael. Still closing in on pit road.
The maid coming down pit road. Yeah, I think most of the field is coming down this time, except for Heggie and Watson. Watson was in last time. Heggie going to stick it out for one more.
Look, Patton already on it.
Oh, Michael, though. Now, this is, you got to be careful. All your braking points are going to be different now on fresh tires.
Especially on the first lap.
Yes. You cannot run it that hard into turns 3 and 4, oval turns 3 and 4, and expect it to stick. It may, but it probably won't. See Patton a little bit long there.
Yeah, not too bad, but he does lose a little bit of time there to the 87.
Heggie in from the lead. Oh, Patton way loose there.
Yeah, that allows Schlosser to close the gap.
And look at that. It opened up big time from Michael back to Patton. Michael wiggling the rear end of that truck. And they are through on Hagee, who is just now getting out of pit road.
Justin Michael
way
absolutely
wide.
smoked him into turn 1. Took him everything to get that thing slowed down.
Hagee on one lap fresher tires. Not too terribly far behind, but he is letting it hang out. Trying to get back up the pace. Three seconds behind.
I really thought Schlosser and Patton would close in a little bit more on Michael after Michael smoked the tires, but haven't been able to
he
get
smoked
that
him again.
close. Yeah, he did.
And he is abusing these fronts.
He is pushing the issue, and we have a lot of laps left on this run. You do not want to be doing that this early.
Problems for Corey Rutherford, and I think he is bended.
Oh, you see lots of damage to the front end there.
I'm going to say probably cold tires, oval turns 3 and 4. That truck got out from underneath of him. Man, had a great top 10 run going as well. And that Chiquita Banana curse lives on.
Yeah, he got loose on the oval. Oh, man, he slammed the outside wall. He got loose and then overcorrected it, just like you would see in an oval race.
That'll be another spot for Gavin Sanders. Not the way he wants it, but he'll take what he can get at this point. As Schlosser had been dipping the right side tires in the grass there out of turn number 3. He had all 4 out there that time. And Patton right back to the tailgate of Justin Michael. Heggie is closing in on the top three. He's got it down to 2.5 seconds.
And he has the benefit of running back there by himself, not having to worry about anybody. Oh, Michael's smoking him again. Every time through that corner.
Man, he is pushing it hard as Schlosser nearly up into the left rear quarter panel with Scott Patton. That was nearly disaster for both of them.
After riding behind these two for a little bit, Schlosser may have finally figured out that transition.
Shout out to Greg Johnson, a Friday night regular with the Jumpy Trucks, cheering on the team boss, James Watson, running P5.
Also want to mention that Travis Fleming stayed out longer than anybody else. He just came down pit road, and that is another position that I think Sanders has the opportunity to potentially get past on speed.
Sanders, I think, still has to make another pit stop. Yeah. I did notice I hit the wall on a practice run yesterday in the tri-oval, just barely, and it gave me engine damage. So hopefully that'll be addressed here this week. I haven't seen the patch notes for the upcoming season build yet, but hopefully there's something in there about fixing that. Oh, Patton trying to close the gap there, under braking, and may have sent it a bit too wide.
Definitely too wide. Schlosser's going to get up underneath, but did he get into it early enough? Patton's still got to run here.
Yeah, still running that outside. Heggie now 2 seconds behind, but it is as these drivers are fading away from Justin Michael. Want to point out as well, only driver rocking a 0X so far is Scott Patton. I probably jinxed that, but...
And Patton has really been flirting with that wall out of 4. And look at this, Schlosser going to get to his inside. Will be on the outside for the next corner, but he's able to stick it.
Brilliantly placed. Oh, but now he's loose. Patton's going to come back at him with a run.
Wow, we've seen a couple of drivers get to the inside. Oh, no!
Oh, and he is destroyed. Just put the left rear tire in the grass, and that truck is demolished. Oh, no. Yeah. Thanks, Garrett. Yeah, that was... locked and loaded there.
Wow.
Man, that is another chase contender with a serious now terminal issue. At least Gavin Sanders is still out on the track. Man, oh man.
Take a look. I'm trying to get that run on Schlosser. Oh, I don't know. I guess he dipped a tire off into the grass on the left?
I think so.
It was tough to see from that angle there. That's not what we wanted.
Man, that was a hard hit.
From that angle. Yeah, not going to get a great one here.
Yeah, go ahead and pile it on.
Yep.
That was...
Yep, dipped the tire off into the grass. That was all she wrote.
Baby. That was,
Boy, we're getting hammered here.
I mean, I kind of deserve it. When's the last time I jinxed somebody, though? It truly has been a while. But, yeah, I definitely did that one.
There you go. We're going to have on the next 2 races now.
And Scott Patton... he's going to have a tough road to the championship without Justin Michael and potentially Matt Schlosser now having some problems. But Patton's won in every season in Truck 200. I would love for him to go trophy hunting in our final 2 races at Talladega and Chicagoland, both tracks that he can definitely win at. So last time by, Matt Schlosser, 9/10 of a second quicker than Justin Michael. He's caught him back to a second now. But look who is coming behind Schlosser. It's Josh Egge. Two drivers that are very familiar with one another from racing in the Sunday ASRL League, whether it's the Next Gen or the Xfinity Series. These two have taken each other to task multiple times at multiple different race venues, including the road courses.
Yeah, Schlosser was dearly missed last night. I would have liked to have seen what happened between those two at Daytona.
Certainly.
But alas, we're going to maybe find out here.
And what's funny is that they finished 1-2 at the Daytona Oval as well, with Schlosser taking that win over Hegge. They could have just as easily done it on the road course as well. Oh, man. Well, Sanders now is up to 12th, and he's only got 2 seconds up to Travis Fleming. But again, I believe Sanders still has to make another pit stop, as Fleming will go around in front of Sanders, and that will send the 99 back on through.
Yeah, Sanders
if he
does have to make another pit stop. However, Fleming has had a few problems here throughout this race. It is not out of the question that Sanders could get back by, especially when he's going to be on fresher tires. He is going to be running quick laps.
I think Greg is thinking of the Land Rush. Would love a Crandon Land Rush in the NASCAR truck. Why not?
Oh, dear Lord.
Oh, Justin Michael locked up the fronts and then nearly spun the rears out as well. I mean, he is... Oh, boy. He is really... He is treading lightly. You get it? It's a tire pun. Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, guess what? There's no treads.
Okay. Well, shut up. Well, I've got bad news. Gavin Sanders is in for his stop, and he is too fast.
Oh, no!
When it rains, it pours.
It goes from bad to worse.
But theoretically, he's only going to lose one spot. He would have to make up nearly another full lap to catch Joshua Rutherford in ninth, so I'm sure he'll just keep going to try and pick off anybody else that may crash out of this one. Schlosser back to 0.8 of a second. Again, he's so strong in this opening sector here, but Justin Michael just has it figured out on the way out of the infield and back onto the oval. Sanders back out on track. Did he just pick up a pit road exit penalty? Not sure how he managed to do that. Well, he may just park it for the night. Yeah. Well, I'll have to settle for 11th. And he has got his work cut out ahead of him. Talladega next week, Chicagoland for the final race. The truck stops in Joliet in 2 weeks' time.
I mean, if there's a place he's going to be able to make him up, it's Talladega. But he's got to hope for some misfortune for others.
Certainly. Not impossible. Schlosser having to try and serve a slowdown penalty. Lost touch with Justin Michael now. Hagee is all over him. Dakota Domain is caught back up to James Watson here for fourth.
Those two just cannot get away from each other.
Well, Watson did. He had gotten away pretty nicely from Dakota there. But the demigod is caught right back up. There's a lot of corn in Kansas, you know. He's got some tactical advantage here. and Sanders officially out of the race. Now, man, we'll have to figure out what happened to kick off all that in the first place. If you're just joining us, Sanders had a fairly comfortable lead out front, spun the truck out, disconnected from the session, and rejoined 2 laps later. Heggie and Schlosser going at it. DeMade and Watson going at it. DeMade has the positioning here into the horseshoe and will take 4th away from Watson.
Watson has a run here.
This is Watson's only Truck 200 race in his career. 2-time Daredevil Series champion. My partner on Friday nights for the Special Stage Pro Truck Series. And as those two are battling, here is Heggie down to the outside with Schlosser for 3rd.
Oh, he sends it. Wow, I can't believe he was able to get that slowed down.
And he is so strong here through turns 2 and 3. He might be able to pull back ahead. He is crowding Heggie there. Heggie keeps it on the tarmac and will have the positioning now.
Whoa!
Schlosser absolutely sends it. Oh, boy. You talk about lockup. Yikes.
Man, he nearly locked it up right into Heggie. Could have taken both of them out.
It's the tale of 2 exits. As Schlosser has 14 incident points, all in the same part of the track. Josh Heggie has 1. That's not including the 4X contact that Schlosser had with Justin Michael either. We don't like to have track limits on the road courses because we want these drivers to be able to do whatever they want as long as they're not cutting the course illegally, which good luck doing that here. But Schlosser certainly taking advantage of that here tonight, but now he's dropped back to 3rd. And it's 3 seconds up the road on 1-lap fresher tires for Heggie to try and track down a potential first Truck 200 victory here with just 13 laps to go. They made 1 second clear now on James Watson, and it's really just Schlosser and Heggie that are still within a second of one another. Travis Fleming, the last driver running right now in P10, so this would be a career best for him if he just continues on and nobody else comes out of the pits. Of course, strange that we lost 2 chasers here tonight. Not sure what the story is with Hunter Engrav or Brandon Groover. Engrav especially be expected to be a contender for the win here tonight, get himself back into the championship hunt. No idea what happened to the 77. Brandon Groover, not sure either. J.J. Wang was supposed to be here tonight. It was going to be a glorious return for him, and he couldn't quite make it back in time. That is a damn shame because he loves himself a Roval. So we're missing a few key people here tonight. Shout out to Christopher Kresge as well, who put this configuration on his Roval Challenge mini-series over at the RIL. Not biased or anything, but I did win that race, so, you know. I've had a lot of laps here on this configuration, and not just for testing this setup.
Coming to 11 laps to go for leader Justin Michael, and these are going to click off quickly. Just have to stay focused.
Heggie 0.2 faster last time around. He's back to inside of 3 seconds. But he's going to have to get a move on here. It's one thing to catch Justin Michael. He's been caught multiple times over, but he has only been passed once. And he quickly retook Matt Schlosser for the lead once that happened. Michael does have some lap traffic in front of him. Joshua Rutherford is there. Rob Haynes is not too far up the road either. I'm sure Haynes won't give Justin Michael, his teammate, any fits. I'm sure Joshua Rutherford won't want to either, as Michael is catching him in a hurry. Hey, losing time in the opening sector of this lap, and now he's fallen right back to Matt Schlosser. But again, Schlosser not quite sticking the transition there. You see Corey in the chat pointing out how rough the transitions are. Yes, they are. Very fun layout. Yes, absolutely. That's why it's here. We've done some dumb road courses before. I mean, some great road courses, but they just don't get run very often in NASCAR competition. And this one may be at the top of the list. Because, you know, Watkins Glen, Mid-Ohio, Charlotte Roval, those are all pretty normal. And we did Zandvoort and Interlagos, 2 Formula One tracks. And now this bad boy. Michael threw on Rutherford to put the 64 lap down.
Schlosser is inching towards Hagee here, so still might have an opportunity to get to second.
Justin Michael just did a 4-wheel slide underneath of Rob Haynes. I thought he was going around. Yeah, the Atlanta Infield. It's one of the only tracks that I've ixnayed for Daredevil. It's too Daredevil for Daredevil with that the jump down. Literally getting airtime. So that'll be very interesting for ASRL. I forgot that was on the schedule, to be honest. Oh, Hagee sends it way deep there on Rob Haynes. Just right on the verge of control. Still inside of 3 seconds, but Schlosser and Hagee running out of time. Try and mount a comeback here. It's a very short list of tracks, Corey, I promise you, especially once you see this season's schedule. Oh, I can't wait for that.
When is that? When is the big reveal?
Soon, trademarked, soon. Waiting on a graphic from our 4th place runner, Dakota Demade, but of course we have to wait till August anyway, so I'm not in any hurry. But I've got a reveal video made as well that I'm very excited for. It's very cheeky.
You put your 2 sides of your brain together and they work on all cylinders. You can certainly come up with some cheeky things.
When are my 2 halves ever firing off together? Or even separately, to be honest. Oh, Travis Fleming is doing donuts in the grass right as Justin Michael goes by. $107 incident points as they run out on the track right now, with the leader of those far and away being Matt Schlosser. Next closest is Dakota Demade with 15, but Schlosser at 22 as they run. And Hagee and Haynes with just 1 apiece. Should hit the 1 hour mark on this lap since the drop of the green flag. So 2 fairly short races in a row. Last week's was 1 hour, 1 minute, and 3 seconds. Something tells me Talladega next week will not be very short. Just a guess.
Expecting a big crowd for that one.
Hopefully we get one. And weren't expecting a ton of people here tonight, but we started with 16. I was expecting about 20. But if you factor in all the people that phoned ahead and that should have been here tonight, that would get you right to that number.
You get towards the end of a league season that's, for some, has been grueling. This is an easy one to take off.
Yeah, for sure. But Justin Michael and Matt Schlosser, Scott Patton, and Gavin Sanders did not have a choice. As
Heggie
there
is
goes
in the
Heggie.
grass.
Heggie will give up second. Just like that, Schlosser is cleared up to push up to Justin Michael, and he has made some time. Heggie and him both were making up ground on Michael already.
Yeah, Michael has been smoking the tires continuously. Still did it the last couple of laps, especially down here into this left-hander. Not as much this time around. We saw it from Matt Schlosser's point of view. Let's take a replay at what happened to Heggie here. A little bit wide through one, trying to carry a lot of speed. And he just pushes a little wide. However, does a great job to not panic, trying to stay in front of Schlosser and hammer the gas in the grass, because that would have been disastrous. Able to keep it on the racetrack.
We talked about Schlosser being faster. Last time by, Michael was faster. Opportunities are dwindling here without a big mistake from your race leader. Mistakes tonight have been easy to come by, though. For everybody, Michael included.
Talking about James Watson and Dakota DeMade battling quite heavily. Dakota has taken that position and ran with it in fourth. He is almost 8 seconds in front of James Watson now. This is going to be a pretty big lap for Schlosser.
Yes, it is. Half a second quicker. Down to 2.5 with 4 to go.
Even if you do that on all 4 laps, it's not enough.
You got to have some help from the driver in front of you, and I'm sure Justin Michael is doing his damnedest to make sure that that doesn't happen.
I mean, part of that... Oh, look at how hard Schlosser's pushing it there. Oh, yeah. And he's going to lose a ton of time.
He's giving it all it's got, but unfortunately that is not just not enough, but at the same time it's too much.
And now he's in jeopardy of going back to third. Has to be smart here the last few laps.
Still, they're even on the sector times. They both ran 22.3s. The gap is down to 2.4 seconds, but Michael, this is where he thrives, out on this oval. Yeah, Michael 8/10 faster last time. Schlosser now going to have his hands full on defense. Starting to get dark. We're about 20 minutes in sim before sunset, so we'll finish up right before. I'm glad I moved the sim timer back about 20 minutes. Because I don't think these drivers would have been very happy finishing the last 10 laps in the dark.
Oh, they could have made it.
Probably, but then again, maybe not. Schlosser quicker in the infield last time by 2/10. Not that it's really going to matter up to this point. 2 laps to go. Gap is right around 3 seconds. Even as Schlosser marginally quicker than Michael last time by. So Schlosser now going to have to hope for 2 big weeks. That's somewhat of a disadvantage in the points. I think Schlosser and Michael are our 2 best cases for drivers that run really well at the super speedways and don't often get the results to go with it. I think you can make a case for Michael that he does usually get the results to go with it, but it doesn't normally get the wins. Schlosser doesn't usually get the top 5s, even though he'll run up at the front of the plate races. So Talladega next week is going to be very interesting for a number of reasons, to see if Gavin Sanders can rally his way back in for an improbable look at a championship. And same for Scott Patton as well. But it may just be down to Schlosser and Michael, and truly may just be down to Michael, as Heggie is going to take a look for the lead coming to the white flag. Or rather, for second coming to the white flag.
Yeah, Schlosser still going to have the advantage here.
Ooh, Travis Fleming has just crashed. Back up and rolling. Michael has the 95 of Charlie Widener in front of him. But that has still not slowed him down any. Schlosser will pick up his 28th incident point. Heggie sending it in. They both smoke the tires.
Michael is being very careful this time around. He is not taking any chances.
I gave up 7/10 just in that opening sector with traffic in front of him. So close for Schlosser into the braking zone, and yet so far. With the amount of races we have left to go, he will be the only driver in double digits on the Truck 200 wins list. Justin Michael takes win number 10. And Justin Michael is now the favorite, if he wasn't already. Schlosser in second, Heggie in third. DeMade and Watson should bring it home for the top 5.
Yeah, this will squarely put Justin Michael up at the top of the points. It is going to be very, very tough to catch the 87. It is going to take a miracle for somebody at Talladega next week. And not only do you have to have a miracle at Talladega, then you have to back it up and have another amazing run at Chicagoland.
My spotter says the leader's gone off. Well, he's gone off to do burnouts for the 10th time in Truck 200 history. There goes the motor. Well, he's racking up the engine bill there. Well, let's take a look at the full finishing rundown here. Justin Michael, Matt Schlosser, Josh Heggie on the podium for the first time in Truck 200. We'll talk to these three gents in just a second. Dakota DeMain in fourth, James Watson in fifth, Steve Roman, Charlie Winder, the last driver on the lead lap in P7. Joshua Rutherford will be one down in eighth. Rob Haynes, one down to ninth. Travis Fleming will finish the race, two down in 10th, and he is the last driver to finish here tonight. It is 11th and a decisive blow to Gavin Sanders' championship hopes in will be the first driver to DNF here tonight. Scott Patton, likewise for him in P12. 13th for Hunter Leach, 14th for Ben Carswell, Corey Rutherford in 15th, and Heath Smith, the last driver to take the green flag. Didn't make it too terrifically far into tonight's race, unfortunately. Will finish down in 16th, and that may be the end of his championship run as well. We'll kick off the podium interview train here tonight with Joshua Heggie for the first time on a Monday night. Welcome back to Booth 200. Man, fun race from our perspective here tonight, but you were wheeling and dealing all night. I'm sure you're pretty worn out at this point.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun race. I don't do the trucks at a road course very much, but we had NASCAR's a league race last night, and I won, so I was kind of stuck in a hard place here, not being in playoff contention and maybe having a shot at getting a win again. So I was playing it pretty conservative. I just didn't want to wreck anybody. Wait till the end to do something, but I just didn't have enough at the end. I had a lap better tires than the other two guys, but just made too many mistakes, and that was about it.
I mean, mistakes were pretty easy to come by tonight for everybody. I mean, talk me through why this was so tricky, especially on a couple of those flat turns on the infield there.
Yeah, specifically the right-hander. It looked like there's some dirt on the track. I don't know if it's just visual or not, but sometimes you could brake hard going in there, and then sometimes the wheels would start hopping, and so it's kind of unpredictable on that corner especially. And then going out onto the NASCAR oval, that left-hander, it was hard to get, for me anyway, to get the power down. Especially with these, with the rear end feeling a little bit light. Maybe I just wasn't used to it, but I was getting smoked out of there like every lap. I'm sure I got a little better throughout the race, but just trying to figure it out. I've only done this track one time in GT3s, I think, so it was a new challenge.
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a great run. This is a pretty short road course. There's not too many turns here. How do you attack a track like this compared to, a longer, more traditional road course that we would go to in a stock car? Because this one is quite a bit different.
I don't have a clue. I just get on the brakes really early, try to feel the braking zones. The braking zones are really I don't know what word, but I just get on the brakes early and feel it out going into the corner. You can't I don't like slamming on them like I do with the car with a bunch of downforce. It just doesn't feel as right with these. So I'm not sure. Get the nose down, feel out the turn in, and try not to get too much wheel hop, and try to do that, and you usually be okay. But what do I know?
I'd say you know a lot since you won last night and you're on the podium here tonight. It's been great to see you racing more and more as Truck 200 has rolled along here this season, and you're on a pretty good stretch of top 10 finishes right now, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So good to get you on the podium here on a Monday night, and let's get some shout-outs for you before we let you go.
Not many. Just Travis has stuck it out and joined these, even though this is a super competitive league. So some of the guys I race with. He showed up every week, so I talk to him in there, and Nick will come bother me and try to help me out. But thank you guys in the booth. ESGI, Renee, and some of the guys I race with. And also, last night, I forgot, I'm not up here too often, so sometimes I forget what to say, but Saturday, I think, was International Women's Month, so I want to give a shout out to Holly Jane, but I'm sure she's not watching.
Oh, Lord. Well,
I'll see you guys
that's
next
her
week.
loss. Absolutely. We'll hope to talk to you again at Talladega. He's always a hoot to have up here, isn't he? Let's talk to last week's winner. Tonight's P2. It's Matt Schlosser back in booth 200. The hot streak continues. Congrats on a strong run here tonight. I'm sure you wanted to go one better, but I'm sure also part of you is probably just glad to see this race over.
Yeah, I would have. I think if I had driven like the race of my life, I might have been able to pick up the win. But I just made lots of little mistakes, and Justin's obviously very good and held on and did a good job. So second is pretty good. I'll definitely take it. That's for sure.
I mean, you were tenths faster than really anybody other than Gavin Sanders early in the race in the infield section, but then just on that transition out to the oval, man, it looked like it was so tough to get this truck underneath of you once you moved up onto the banking there and oval turn 2.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Like I struggled to get good power down. Just wasn't very good at it right there. And I also had a lot of rear brake dialed in. I probably overheated my tires some and made it even harder to get that drive off. So yeah, I realized my best chance to overtake was like the first few turns because I was never going to get a good run out of that hairpin out there going into oval 2. So yeah, it was interesting. I mean, we were kind of rather evenly matched in some ways. Like some of us were faster in some places, and then others had it covered in the other places. But yeah, it was tough. It was fun though. This is a cool track.
Matt, what you got for Matt?
Yeah, congrats on a great run here. Couldn't quite get the job done tonight, but still a great run. Talk to me about the left-hander going back out onto the banking. It seemed like maybe Justin and Scott had something on you there for a while. Maybe you might have picked up a tip or two from them. How difficult is that braking zone to start with and then try and get the power down at the right time to get a big run on the oval?
Yeah, it was probably my weakest part of the track. I mean, I was pretty decent on the brakes getting into there, but then getting the power down is just so weird. Like with the transition, I wish it had been faster to just stay on the flat, and that would have eliminated the whole like clunk under the banking. But yeah, those guys kind of had me there, and then of course that gets them a lot of time just carrying that momentum around. The draft was kind of there too. If somebody was near the back of you, they'd get a little bit of a draft, especially on me because I was getting poor launches out of that turn. But yeah, it was a challenge for sure. Definitely different breaking points than the GT3s we ran here a couple of years ago in the in the ASRL sports cars. So definitely had to back up your breaking points for sure for that.
I mean, you've got the hot hand on the floor here on turn 200. There's no doubt about that. I mean, could have easily won at Michigan last week, did win at Iowa in both series 2 weeks ago. And then headed to the Daytona road course tomorrow. Of course, I mean, that's a track that a lot of people have laps on, but not necessarily in the truck. I mean, what can you take away anything from tonight headed into Daytona tomorrow?
Yeah, I think this is almost like the Daytona road course is like little brother or something. Like this track reminds me of it in some ways, like the way you absolutely ship it into turn 1 and it's like a big wide entry. The second and third turns remind me a little bit of Daytona too, but this one obviously you have to slow down way more. And then the two hairpins here even are kind of like the horseshoes. The only thing that's missing is the bus stop. So it's kind of like a deformed, smaller version of it. I think it carries over a little, so it'll be. So I didn't, the the next best thing to practicing tonight for that race tomorrow would be running this race on another road course with some similar characteristics in the same vehicle. So yeah, hopefully I can kind of keep some rhythm going from tonight into tomorrow.
So you're saying that this is like we have a Daytona road course at home, kind of. But it seems like everybody towards the front of the field was having some fun here tonight, got their elbows out, hard racing here this evening. Congrats on a runner-up. Let's get some shout-outs for you.
Yeah. Shout out to Turn 200. Thank you again for hosting this league. Shout out to Justin and Joshua and Scott, everybody that was up front that I was racing with. It was really good, hard racing. I told Justin I was sorry I doored him in the horseshoe on that one turn. But other than me doing that, it was pretty clean. And yeah, shout out to everybody who's watching. And yeah, that's all I got.
Alrighty, partner. Thanks for the time here tonight, and I'll hopefully talk to you again tomorrow.
Hope so. Yep. See you.
He's the first and the only to double-digit wins in Truck 200. It's Justin Michael up on the top step for the 10th time here tonight. Said you wanted a top 5 here tonight. I'd say you got it, and then some. Congrats, and welcome back to Victory Lane.
I still don't know how I'm here. I'm not supposed to win at road courses, especially in a truck.
Well, that's the thing is you started your first ever race with Truck 200 was at Watkins Glen, and you win that. And that was our first road course. This will be our last. It's a fitting bookend, sort of.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah, for you to go out on top here tonight. I mean, you had the speed in practice. I think you ended up being fastest in practice. You were second quickest in qualifying. I mean, Gavin Sanders had some issues there, but I mean, it wasn't easy from then on either. Matt Schlosser was all over you, quite literally at one point. I mean, how were you able to get the separation there towards the end of this one?
Yeah, I think they just got to racing, and that let me pull away, and I kept making mistakes, letting them catch back up, but then they would make the same mistakes and let me pull back away. And I thought Scott was going to get me, and then he ended up wrecking, and then he actually stuck around and coached me through a lot of the rest of the race and spotting and reading off times and everything. So, you know, he's really good at that, and I like it when he does that. So, unfortunately, he had the wreck to do it, but no, you know what? I had zero practice on this track until practice started, so I'm still shocked.
Well, tell Scott I owe him one because I locked and loaded jinxed him. I pointed out he was the only driver that had 0 incident points, and then 4 corners later, he's out of the race. So, yeah, I got flamed for that one. But anyway, what you got for the race winner here, Matt?
Yeah, congrats on a great run here tonight. And, I mean, picking up the win here, I mean, this is putting you in a fantastic position going into the next 2 races. Do you approach next week any differently than you would? Were you in a different point scenario, or is it just kind of the same old strategy?
Well, it's Talladega, so the first key is to survive. So we'll probably change it up a little bit and do a more, especially like the first half of the race until we get some pit stops and stuff. Take a more, I'm going to hang in the back and not die approach.
Not dying, easier said than done at Talladega, but we're looking forward to it. And certainly Talladega, a track that you can win at very easily. You're always in contentions. Anytime you make it to the end of the plate races on Thursday nights in Max V, and then here in Truck 200 as well, you're always in it for the win. So we're looking forward to that. Like Matt said, things shaping up. Very exciting to see how the next couple of weeks play out here. But before we get to there, we got to get some shout-outs for you here tonight from the top step.
Yeah, just you guys as always for calling the race, putting in the league and stuff, and all the bandit guys out there, and everybody was racing pretty clean tonight. So I hate it for Gavin for wrecking or whatever happened to him. I don't even know. So that definitely gave me a good points advantage. So I think we capitalized on all the points except the pole tonight. So but yeah, we'll see you guys next week, and hopefully we'll be back up here again.
Yeah, we're also not quite sure what happened to Gavin either, but we'll figure it out, and we'll see you next week in Talladega, and hopefully talk to you either Thursday or Monday.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, still no word on what happened to Gavin Sanders there. Don't see it in the chat. I'll shoot him a DM after the race, and we'll have it for next week. Also won't have an updated point standings for you leaving tonight. Actually, if Matt talks for long enough, I may be able to get something uploaded here. But this was your race. I gave you the selection of the road course in the chase, and I think you said it would either be this or Willow, but you really wanted this one. And did it live up? Did it deliver?
Yeah, I think it certainly did. I mean, I think having a few more trucks out there could have made it, a little bit more spectacular. But it was really racy for the guys that were, around the same speed. Those top four were kind of all close together the entire race until, unfortunately for Scott, he got taken out. Gavin. It would have been a five-way battle if Gavin wouldn't have had his issue. But then, even throughout the rest of the field, you had a couple of drivers that were around each other for quite a while. One would get out ahead, and then the other one would pull back in. I think it's a really fun track to drive for the drivers, but you have to be careful with tire temperatures and things like that. So the comings and goings of runs happen here on the road course as well. I think it creates some spectacular racing, and I think that's exactly what we got here tonight. So thank you to the drivers that did show up here tonight and braving the Kansas KROVAL conditions. Hopefully you were rewarded with a good time. Hopefully everybody that was out there watching and chatting with us was having a good time as well. There were a couple of drivers that maybe were in the chat a little bit too early. Maybe they weren't having such a good time in the chat. One of them was Corey Rutherford. Shout out to Don Golden for always being here cheering on the Rutherford boys. Greg Johnson showing up for a while. Good to see Greg in the chat. Heath Smith was here early as well. Of course, Garrett Rainey, man in the controls in the tower here for us as always. Then Joshua Rutherford was here before the race started. Josh Monachek and Zach Lockett, thank you guys for chatting with us. Anybody else that was watching, always appreciate it. Tommy, have I rambled long enough for you to get points?
I think so. We don't have the stage points in here, but I'm going to guesstimate Justin Michael with a 112-point advantage headed into Talladega next week over Matt Schlosser. Gavin Sanders now 132 points behind. So that is not insurmountable for either of them. They will just need some issues to befall Justin Michael next week, and for them to both take advantage of that. Mathematically, still eligible. Charlie Widener now has vaulted up to fourth in the standings. He is 322 points behind, not including stage points. Scott Patton now 325 behind. Hunter Engrav 404 behind. Mathematically, they are still eligible until we know how many trucks show up at Talladega next week. Hunter will definitely be on the hot seat there. Realistically, those three are in serious trouble. And mathematically eliminated after tonight will be Heath Smith and Brandon Groover. So, yeah, that is where we're going to leave it here tonight in terms of the points. But yeah, Justin Michael firmly in the driver's seat. Heading into the most unpredictable race of the season, Talladega, next Monday night. We'll have a lot of racing between now and then, though. We are still road course racing tomorrow night with the Venom Truck Series. It is Daytona. Excited for that one, the Daytona 24-hour layout. None of that stupid chicane. God, that was... Whoever made that chicane should be taken into a dark room and beaten upside the head. That's all I have to say about that. But Venom Truck Series running the real Daytona layout tomorrow night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern time for that one. Thursday night, the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series from Homestead, Miami Speedway at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time for that one. Friday night, it is the Special Stage Pro Truck Series from Firebird Motorsports Park for the very first time on Turn 200. That is going to be an absolute mess, and I'm very much looking forward to that. 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time for that one. We'll have James Watson back up in the booth for the regular action. And then it is the Truck 200 edition of the Leighton River Ellison Memorial. Monday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be our final Super Speedway race in Truck 200, the race that kicked it all off a couple years ago. Season 1, Race 1 will have the penultimate race at Talladega 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday night. Very much looking forward to that. Thank you to Garrett Rainey, as always, for doing the race control. Thank you to everybody that was hanging out with us here tonight. Thank you to the drivers that have stayed with us through our kookier stuff that we've tried in Truck 200. We're always a league that tries to do interesting stuff, and this was definitely an interesting race here tonight. So appreciate the drivers for coming out and racing with us and supporting us here on Turn 200 through Truck 200. But on behalf of the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson, until we meet again from the Kansas Road Course, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long. And congrats to Justin Michael on win number 10 in Truck 200. Have a good night, everybody.
This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.